It's time for the round one Iame X30 Junior final. Ludwig Granqvist starts on pole position. Cesc Pedersen alongside on the front row. Lionel Munguia and Thijs van Hals, row 2. Theo Polican and Ronan Kamphaus round out row 3. Tran van Malik, Lucas Pellizzari, Gregory Gorblicek and Zoltan Koigny from Switzerland round out your top 10. Len Gökman, Edouard Geoffroy, Jules Ducoun, Adam Bourne, Linus Dijsted round out your top 15. Lewis Boots, Sacha Duquet, Joshua Lorison, Louis Bieland and Antoine Boots complete your top 20. Rounding out the 25-strong grid are as follows. Gauthier Maquet from Belgium, countryman Dorian Grosjean alongside on row 11. Mathis Mouche from Luxembourg, Charles van Kellecom in the 116, and Francis Isaac Zahiri bringing up the rear of the field in the 169. So we up the ante for the remainder of the finals here at round one for the Karting Champions League Winter Series 2026. 14 minutes plus an additional lap. And I can see that there are nearly 400 of you people watching on our YouTube channel. We've broken through the north of 300 subscribers on the YouTube channel. And as they say, the more the merrier. And we'd like to hear from you if you are watching along in the YouTube channel as we speak. But don't forget, if you want to use that facility of the chat, you must be a subscriber to the channel. So wind to the north-northwest, 10 kilometers an hour. And obviously a bit more blue sky up ahead here at just coming up to just before 2 o'clock local time here in Limburg. So it is going to be Ludwig Granqvist from MP Kart Racing Team and Cesc Pedersen from the Netherlands for victory lane on the front row of the grid. The red lights are on the starting gantry. So they come out of the final corner, revs up, lights on, lights are out, the final's underway. And it's going to be Cesc Pedersen who's going to get a nose ahead. He's going to the outside and he got through before the apex, but Granqvist straight away forces him onto the runoff area. Lionel Munguia trying to get his elbows out in the Redeka entry, the 119, but Pedersen says, no, you don't. As there's a little bit of side-by-side altercations going through into turn 5. Oh, no, no, no. Lionel Munguia's just mounted the front of Cesc Pedersen. Oh, and that was the two battling for the victory in this race. It's all gone horribly wrong, and there's someone stationary coming out of turn 6. Oh, and that is one of the Euro karting entries. I think that might be... Oh, don't tell me. That's not the 102. I think that might be Lucas Pellizzari. And it is. Yes. Lucas Pellizzari is out of the race. Someone just went sideways in the penultimate right-hander and has managed to hold station. So a big paradigm shift with regards to the running order. So Lucas Pellizzari out. Cesc Pedersen and Lionel Munguia, the latter mounting the front end of the former. They've gotten going again, but they're all the way down towards the back end of the field, and they've got to make up some big old headway in the next 12.5 minutes. Granqvist, in the meantime, has now got a lead of nearly 2.5 seconds after the opening lap over Theo Polican. Meantime, Sacha Duquet is battling away, along with the likes of the 195 Linus Dijsted, Mathis Mouche in the 182. It's quite a lot of juxtaposing for position. Thijs van Hals, who's dropped all the way down the order, probably in avoidance of what happened to Munguia and Pedersen. And Pedersen has... Oh, Cesc is on a roll. He's just gone fastest in the opening sector. Munguia's responded with the fastest middle sector of anybody. As through on the 117, that might have been Ronan Kamphaus. Meantime, Louis Bieland has moved up from 19th at the start, runs P4 overall. And Sacha Duquet has Taze Van House right behind him. Tasted, and there goes Van House through on Duquet into turn 6. And there is the Luxembourger, Mathis Mouche, in the background of this quartet, battling away over position. And in the meantime, fastest lap of the race so far has gone the way of driver 119, Lionel Munguia from the Rideka kart racing team. A 58.472, but Theo Polycart now trying to start to chase down Ludwig Granqvist. 3-second time penalty for kart 136. Gauthier Maquet, that is going to be for 2 wheels outside of the tram lines on the start, braking formation. And Gregory Koblitschek has found himself all the way down in last position, I'm afraid, from what was a great performance by the KSL racing driver in the heats. He found himself starting P9 in both the Super Heat and the final, but unfortunately, the 113, his race has slightly come undone. But Theo Polycart, the 187 from France for Dream Racing, is closing in. Trent Van Melek, new fastest lap, 57.523. Sacha Duquet dives to the inside. And I think that was on Linus Dysted, apparently, going through into turn 1. Locks onto the rear bumper of the 195. Dysted started down in 15th. And there goes Antoine Boots up the inside in the 103 for RSD Karting. And he's going to make it another one as he gets past the Dane into turn 6. Great awareness. Oh, and I think Tysted's front bumper just got absolutely clobbered as he was squeezed onto the inside tyre, the inside foam barrier, and the cones off of turn 7. A very lucky escape for the youngster from Denmark. And Gregory Koblitschek, I'm afraid to say, has just retired. The 113's race has come to an abrupt end, probably for further technical dramas for the youngster. Munguia again setting the timesheets up purple. There are some changes afoot. Ches Pedersen now up into P20. Lionel Munguia, new fastest lap of the race, despite being in 23rd position. 56.971. Purple in sectors 2 and 3. Ronan Kamphaus in the 124, who won the super heats earlier on, has just gone purple in the opening sector. Biggest movers, Isaac Zahiri from 25th, now runs 14th. Antoine Boots now up into what is effectively 8th or 9th place. That'll be 12 places gained. Mathis Mouche up 15. Dorian Grandjean up 15. Louis Bieland up to 4th, and that started down in 19th spot. But we are nearly at the halfway point of this race. Ronan Kamphaus has just set the fastest lap of the race out of anybody, 56.949. It's just gone purple again in the opening sector. Trent Van Melek, in the meantime, is starting to catch Theo Polycart for P2. It was quicker by nearly a tenth and a half in the previous lap, as we are just completing lap 7 very shortly. So Granqvist, Polycart, Van Melek covered by less than 8.5 tenths of a second. Kamphaus with another fastest lap, and he's right with Louis Bieland, so there's going to be a battle here for P4 and P5. They're just coming through into turn 4 as we speak. Ches Pedersen and Lionel Munguia have decided to take the Joe Tanto, Jimmy Bly tag team reference to a whole new level, bringing it here to the world of karting. As now, Polycart versus Granqvist. Polycart could have nearly have had the switchback going into turn 10, but thought better of it. Tren van Malik is with them. Polycart to the lead, to the inside he goes and gets the job done. New race leader, as we've got a 5-second time penalty for Cart. 1.95. Linus Dysted as now Granqvist retakes the lead from Polycart through at turn 1. So Dysted gets a 5-second time penalty for overtaking after the red line before the start. And this could have been very close to Tren van Malik, nearly putting it 3 wide out of the Europlan, but he's going to make sure that Polycart gets through to the race lead. He jumps up into second. Granqvist, the Swede, now down into P3. In the meantime, Ronan Kamphaus has got through on New Bieland, so Bieland drops down into P5 behind the 124. And Ches Pedersen is not that far away from getting himself into the top 15. The next person on his list is going to be Jules de Koen. And a new fastest lap by the man in 10th place, Edouard Gaufoy, with a 1 in the 105, puts in a 56.635. Ches Pedersen now hits the top 15. He's got through on Isaac Zahiri, who's up 9 spots, and has got Lionel Munguia not too far behind. So Pedersen could, if he plays his cards right, looking at the distance between him and Edouard Gaufoy at the moment, that is about 7 seconds he's got to try and make up. And Gaufoy yet again does another purple opening sector. Polycart still holding on to the lead, but Tren van Malik 2.5 tenths exactly to the decimal point behind the Frenchman in front of him. So Polycart doing a really, really good job just keeping the back end of the 187 as wide as humanly possible. But sometimes that can be easier said than done. So we still have 23 runners and riders in this last X30 Junior race of the weekend. And Polycart just consistently putting in the laps, making sure he hits his braking points, apexes, and then acceleration points out of the corners. But Tren van Malik is not letting him get away. He is pretty much nigh on matching him on pace. And Edouard Gaufoy is not that far away from Mathis Mouche and Antoine Boots, amongst other people who currently round out 8th and 7th respectively. And the gap between them, well, I've just seen that Mathis Mouche has just lost a big amount of time to Edouard Gaufoy, who took over 4 tenths out of him in that opening sector. So I think Edouard Gaufoy might have made the move, so the 105 might be up to 8th place by the next time we cross the start-finish line. Ches Pedersen at the moment has just gone purple in the middle sector as Polycart, followed by Tren van Malik, continues to lead after 12 laps. Gap is just under 2.5 tenths. New fastest lap of the race, Ches Pedersen, 56.482, as the Dutchman currently sitting down in 14th position at the moment. A real shame after the contact between him and Lionel Munguia. Munguia currently sitting in 16th place. But the time is rapidly counting down as we speak. And more to the point, sometimes when you get to this latter stage of a final, it's been an exhausting weekend for everybody involved. Not just the drivers, but also the mechanics, the team, and also the family members that may be here in support of the drivers, especially in this class. But Théo Polican, the youngster from France representing Dream Racing, is doing exactly everything he needs to stay in control of this race and keep the likes of Trent van Melk, Ludwig Granqvist, who is on pole position, at bay right up until the checkered flag. And this will help Polican no end because of the fact that he was 5th in the final intermediate classification after the superheats. 2 laps to go. Van Melk still within that 2.5 tenth of a second window behind the French driver as they come through into turn number 3. Louis Bieland, I'm just wondering if he is getting any closer to Ronan Kamphaus, who I think performed one of the drives of the weekend, 17th to victory in the superheat earlier on. Timer has hit 0, and the next time around, Trent van Melk will get the hurry up sign from his mechanics as if to say, right, you want to win this, go out there and prove yourself. Now into the final couple of corners. One more lap remains, kart 104. Louis Bieland gets a 5-second time penalty for pushing. Final lap underway. 1.7 tenths separates first and second position. Van Melk goes to the inside for the switchover attempt into turns 1 and 2. And look who's come straight back into it. Here's Granqvist. It's a 3-kart brawl for the victory on the final lap of the race as there's a little push between Van Melk and Polican. Here comes Granqvist and here comes Ronan Kamphaus. It could be nearly 3 wide into turn 6. Polican just holds on. And here comes Kamphaus to the inside. He's got through on Van Melk. And with them now is, I'm trying to see who that is. That is going to be Louis Bieland. And now Granqvist is in the lead. Polican has a little bit of contact with the Swede. And Kamphaus takes the lead. Heading into the final couple of corners. It's going to be the run to the line. Granqvist to the inside. It's pedal to the metal. It's Granqvist. It's Granqvist that wins. Polican absolutely furious. It did not go his way. But Ludwig Granqvist stole it. That is how you win a last gasp, last lap multi-kart battle. Granqvist made it work when it counted the most, and he wins after 16 laps by 0.16 of a second. Ronan Kamphaus takes P2. Théo Polican, Trent van Melk and Thijs van House round out your top 5. Louis Bieland, P6. Despite that 5-second pushing penalty, he would have been in there with a shout. Edouard Godefroy, Mathis Mouche, Antoine Boots, Louis Boots ran out your top 10. Dorian Grandjean, Linus Tysted, Lionel Munguia, Zoltan Coigny, Jules Decoun ran out your top 15. And then Adam Bourne, Joshua Lorison, Charles Van Kellecom, Isaac Zairi and Len Gukman round out your top 20. Sacha Duquet and Gauthier Maquet, the last 2 finishers. Ches Peterson unfortunately retires with 3 laps remaining. Gregory Korblicek out on lap 3. Lucas Pellizzari out on the opening lap. But Granqvist steals it on the final lap. What a great last lap battle to decide the winner in the final for X30 Junior.